Welcome to Documentary Time channel. As you know, we make documentaries about iconic people, so make sure you subscribe to keep getting these updates and these topics. So let's stop wasting time today. We're going to talk about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's journey from a working-class child in Indiana to the undisputed king of pop is one of the most remarkable, grueling, and defining stories in entertainment history. 1. The early years in Gary, Indiana, 1958 to 1963. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana. He was the eighth of 10 children. His brother Brandon, Marlon's twin, died shortly after birth, born into an African-American, working-class family. They lived in a tiny, two-bedroom home on Jackson Street. His mother, Catherine, was a devout Jehovah's Witness who played piano and clarinet, while his father, Joe Jackson, worked as a steel mill crane operator and played guitar in a local rhythm and blues band called the Falcons. Though money was tight, the house was constantly filled with music. Catherine sang with the children, and the brothers frequently snuck out their father's guitar to practice. 2. A Stolen Childhood and the Jackson 5, 1964 to 1968. In 1964, noticing his children's raw talent, Joe Jackson formed a musical group with his sons. Michael and his brother Marlon initially joined as backup musicians playing congas and tambourine, supporting their older brothers Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine. However, it quickly became apparent that little Michael possessed a rare, prodigy-level talent. By age 6, his incredible vocal range, maturity, and natural ability to mimic the dynamic dance moves of his idol, James Brown, bumped him to co-lead singer. The group was officially renamed the Jackson 5. The cost of discipline. Joe Jackson became a strict, unrelenting manager. He enforced long, grueling rehearsals lasting up to 5 hours a day after school. Michael later revealed that his father would sit in a chair with a belt in hand, ready to physically or verbally abuse the boys if they missed a dance step or struck a wrong note. Michael often lamented losing his childhood to this adult world, recalling how he performed in adult nightclubs and bars across the Midwest when he was just 7 or 8 years old. Beale. The Motown Era. Nationwide Stardom, 1968 to 1975. The Jackson 5 toured relentlessly, winning local talent shows, including a defining performance at New York's legendary Apollo Theater in 1967. They caught the attention of industry icons like Gladys Knight and Bobby Taylor, leading to an audition for Berry Gordy Jr., the head of Motown Records, in 1968. Gordy signed the group, moved the family to Southern California, and famously predicted they would make history. They did just that. Under Motown, they became national sensations, achieving something no debut group had ever done before. Their first 4 singles all went to #1 on the Billboard charts. Genius Michael Jackson. I Want You Back, 1969. Britannica. ABC, 1970. Britannica. The Love You Save, 1970. Genius Michael Jackson. I'll Be There, 1970. A wave of Jacksonmania swept the country. Mobs of screaming fans followed them everywhere, and Michael, with his iconic afro and infectious energy, became a preteen idol. Even during this era, Motown began testing Michael's potential as a solo act, releasing his first solo album, Got to Be There, 1971, and his first solo #1 hit, Ben, 1972, when he was just 13. 4. Breaking Free and Becoming Famous, 1975 to 1979. By the mid-1970s, the brothers grew frustrated with Motown because Berry Gordy refused to let them write and produce their own music. In 1975, they made the bold move to leave Motown for Epic Records, renaming themselves the Jacksons, as Motown owned the Jackson 5 trademark. This transition marked the period where Michael began evolving from a child star into an independent adult force. In 1978, he moved to New York to star as the Scarecrow in the musical film The Wiz. Genius Michael Jackson. It was on this set that Michael met legendary producer Quincy Jones. Michael asked Jones if he could recommend a producer to help him with his next solo project. Jones simply replied, "Why don't you let me do it?" The launch of solo superstardom. In August 1979, Michael released Off the Wall. It was a massive, critically acclaimed success that perfectly blended disco, pop, and R&B. Wikipedia. Off the Wall became the first solo album by an artist to generate 4 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, including Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, which earned Michael his first Grammy, and Rock With You. Lima Summit. This album officially shattered any lingering perceptions that Michael was just a child star dependent on his family band. He had established himself as a mature, solo powerhouse, setting the stage for his 1982 follow-up album, Thriller, which would soon launch him into an unprecedented stratosphere of global fame. So in short words, let's go straight to his death. The death of Michael Jackson on June 25, 2009, shocked the world, abruptly ending the life of the 50-year-old king of pop just weeks before he was scheduled to launch a massive 50-show comeback tour titled This Is It. The circumstances surrounding his final hours revealed a tragic behind-the-scenes reality of severe insomnia, immense physical pressure, and a fatal dependence on heavy prescription medications. The final hours and the cause of death. In the months leading up to his death, Jackson was undergoing grueling daily rehearsals in Los Angeles. Out of the public eye, he was suffering from chronic, severe insomnia. To help him sleep, Jackson hired a personal physician, cardiologist Dr. Conrad Murray, for $150,000 a month to administer powerful medications. On the night of June 24th and into the early morning of June 25th, Jackson was completely unable to sleep. Over a period of several hours, Dr. Murray administered a cocktail of sedatives, benzodiazepines, including Valium, lorazepam, and midazolam. When those failed to put Jackson to sleep, Murray finally administered an intravenous dose of propofol. CBS News. What is propofol? Propofol, brand name Diprivan, is a potent, fast-acting general anesthetic typically used in hospital operating rooms to put patients under for surgery. It slows down the central nervous system and breathing, requiring constant medical monitoring and specialized resuscitation equipment, none of which Murray had in the bedroom. Jackson reportedly referred to the white liquid as his milk. Sometime after 11 a.m., Murray left Jackson's bedside. When he returned, he found Jackson on the bed, not breathing, with a faint pulse. Instead of immediately calling 911, Murray attempted to perform CPR on the soft bed, rather than hard surface, and spent time gathering drug bottles. Security finally called 911 at 12:21 p.m. Paramedics arrived within minutes and found Jack, son, in full cardiac arrest. He was rushed to the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, where doctors spent over an hour attempting to revive him. Michael Jackson was officially pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. 2. The autopsy revelations. Following his death, the Los Angeles County coroner conducted an extensive autopsy. The final report concluded that the official cause of death was acute propofol intoxication, compounded by the effects of the other sedatives in his system. The coroner officially ruled the manner of death a homicide. The autopsy also debunked several tabloid rumors regarding Jackson's physical health, revealing a mix of surprising facts. Generally healthy for his age, despite rumors that he was a sickly skeleton, the coroner noted that at 5'9" and 136 pounds, his weight was in an acceptable range. His heart was strong, and his major organs were largely normal with no major blockages or diseases that would have killed him. Chronic lung issues. His lungs were chronically inflamed, which likely caused him shortness of breath and coughing, though it didn't contribute directly to his death. Cosmetic and medical marks. The report confirmed Jackson suffered from vitiligo, a skin condition causing patches of lost pigmentation, which explained his uneven skin tone. It also noted permanent cosmetic tattoos on his eyebrows, eyes, and lips, and extensive scarring from plastic surgeries. His arms and legs bore numerous puncture wounds from frequent intravenous drug injections. 3. Legal aftermath. The trial of Conrad Murray. The investigation quickly focused on Dr. Conrad Murray's medical malpractice. In 2011, Murray went on trial in Los Angeles for his role in Jackson's death. The prosecution argued that Murray acted with gross negligence by administering a surgical anesthetic in a home environment without proper monitoring equipment, delaying the 911 call, and abandoning his patient. The defense countered by claiming that Jackson had self-administered the fatal dose while Murray was out of the room. On November 7, 2011, the jury found Dr. Conrad Murray guilty of involuntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to the maximum of 4 years in prison, though he was released after serving 2 years due to California prison overcrowding and good behavior laws. 4. The global impact. The news of Jackson's death caused unprecedented internet traffic, crashing websites like Google, AOL, Twitter, and Wikipedia simultaneously. On July 7, 2009, a public memorial service was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Broadcast globally, it was watched by an estimated 2.5 billion people worldwide, cementing it as one of the most watched live television events in history. Anyway, thanks for watching and subscribe to this channel so that you can keep getting documentary on iconic people. See you next time.